All right, let's set the scene. Picture this. It's 1959. We're in the remote hills of Vermont at a place called Welton Academy. And let me tell you, this is way more than just a school. It's an institution built on 100 years of super rigid tradition. You can almost feel the weight of expectations in the air, you know? It's as heavy as the cold stone walls themselves.
So this quote, wow, it just paints the picture perfectly, doesn't it? You've got this sea of boys in blazers, proud parents watching. The whole place is just dripping with tradition and ceremony. But underneath all that, you can just feel this crushing pressure from their parents. This is not a place where you're supposed to be different. No way. Welton is basically a factory designed to churn out conformists.
So what's the operating system for this place? What's the code that governs this whole world? Well, it's all built on a foundation of just 4 words. 4 pillars that are supposed to be completely unshakable.
Here they are: tradition, honor, discipline, and excellence. I mean, they sound pretty good, right? Noble, even. But at a place like Welton, these aren't just inspirational posters on a wall. Nope, they are the rigid cornerstones of a life that's already been mapped out for these boys. A life that shapes every single thought and every single action.
And just think about how they say it. Tradition, honor, discipline, excellence. It's not said with any passion, right? It's like a military drill. Just this rote chant all in unison. That sound? That's the sound of individuality being completely stamped out. It's the perfect symbol of Welton's entire culture.
And the pressure? It is absolutely relentless. I mean, just take a look at the schedule for one of the students, Neil Perry. Chemistry club, math club, the school annual, soccer. His life is just one big checklist of achievements. There's literally no room for him to breathe, no space for what he might actually want to do. It's all about building that perfect resume to get into the Ivy League.
But a system like this, it always takes a toll on people. You really see it in these 2 students. On one hand, you have Neil, who's just being crushed by his father's expectations, forced to give up things he actually loves. And then you have the new kid, Todd Anderson. He's so shy, so completely paralyzed by the huge shadow of his successful older brother, he can barely get a word out.
Okay, so into this super rigid, kind of oppressive world, something new arrives. A catalyst for change. A new voice that is about to shake up everything Welton stands for.
So who is it? It's the new English teacher, a Mr. John Keating. And here's the kicker, he's actually a Welton alum himself, but from the second he steps into that classroom, it is crystal clear he's not back to fall in line, he's back to break the mold.
And what does he do? He jumps up on his desk. Can you imagine? He's quoting Walt Whitman, telling the boys, "You may refer to me as either Mr. Keating or, oh, Captain, my Captain." In that one moment, he just completely shatters every idea these boys ever had about what a teacher is supposed to be. He's not just some instructor. He's a performer, an agitator, an inspiration. He's their captain.
But Mr. Keating's mission here, it isn't just about poetry. Oh no, he's there to plant a seed, to introduce one single powerful idea, a philosophy that is going to change these boys' lives forever.
And that idea? Carpe diem, a Latin phrase you've probably heard. Seize the day. He gets them to think about their own mortality, reminding them that one day they're all going to be fertilizing daffodils. So the real question becomes, what are you going to do with the time you have right now? He's not just telling them to live, he's begging them to make their lives extraordinary.
So to really drive his point home, he has them open their textbooks and read the introduction. And get this, it basically says you can understand poetry by measuring its meter and rhyme and plotting it on a graph to figure out its greatness. Seriously. Like it's a math problem. It's so dry, so academic, there's absolutely zero passion in it.
So what's Keating's response to this soulless garbage? He tells them to rip it out. Just rip it out. To literally tear that entire introduction out of their brand new, expensive textbooks. And in that one moment, that one act of pure, thrilling defiance, the boys commit their first real act in intellectual rebellion.
And this right here is the absolute heart of his message. Look, he's not saying things like medicine, law, or banking aren't important. Of course they are. They're what we need to sustain life. But poetry, romance, love, beauty, that, he says, is what we stay alive for. It's about so much more than just getting by. It's about passion and all the things that make you feel truly, deeply alive.
Now, these ideas from Keating, they aren't just words spoken in a classroom. They inspire actual, real-world action. And it starts when the boys find out that their new teacher, well, he used to have a little secret of his own.
So what happens is they start digging through his old yearbook, and they find this one really intriguing entry, the Dead Poets Society.
So of course, they ask him about it. And Keating tells them, yeah, it was this secret group he was in, and it was dedicated to sucking the marrow out of life. Well, that's all it took. That was the spark. The boys decide right then and there they're going to restart the society, in secret.
And this quote from Henry David Thoreau, this becomes their mantra, their mission statement. It's Neil who reads it out loud to kick off their very first secret meeting in this old cave. I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life. I mean, that sets the tone, right? And inside that cave, lit by firelight, they find something they've never experienced before. It's this incredible sense of freedom. It's not just about reading poetry, you know. It's about laughing and making up music and just dancing wildly in the forest. For the very first time, they're away from the judging eyes of Welton, and they are completely, totally free.
So this whole journey of self-discovery, it all leads to one final, powerful question from Mr. Keating. And this is a question that goes way beyond the stone walls of Welton Academy.
He brings it back to Walt Whitman one more time. He talks about life being this powerful play that's constantly going on. Think about it. History, art, the whole human story, it's already happening. It's in progress. The question he's really asking is, are we just going to sit in the audience and watch? Or are we going to be brave enough to get on stage and contribute our own verse?
And just like that, Keating's challenge to his students becomes a challenge to every single one of us. It's a question that just cuts through all the noise, all the expectations from everyone else, and it forces you to look inside and ask what you're really passionate about. What's your purpose? The powerful play of life is happening right now. So the only question left is, what will your verse be?